Did you know that the way you drink coffee could be secretly harming your health? And it's not just about how strong you like it. It could be causing irreversible damage, especially as you age. Let me tell you a story that will make you rethink your morning cup. Meet George, a 75-year-old man who had one simple routine he never skipped: his 3 cups of coffee every day. For years, he believed it was his secret to staying alert and active. But one morning, as he sipped his usual brew, something unexpected happened. His hands started trembling, his heart raced, and he felt a sudden wave of dizziness. At first, he brushed it off. Just a bad day, he thought. But soon his body started sending warning signs that he couldn't ignore. What George didn't realize was that he had been making some serious mistakes with his coffee habits. Mistakes that many people over 60 unknowingly make every day. And these mistakes, they can weaken your bones, damage your heart, disrupt your sleep, and even speed up aging. In today's video, we're going to uncover 6 fatal coffee mistakes that could be affecting your health right now. And George's story will show you just how dangerous they can be. If you drink coffee, even just a cup a day, you need to hear this. Let's get started. Mistake number 1: drinking coffee first thing in the morning. For years, George had one unshakable habit: rolling out of bed and heading straight for the coffee pot. Before his feet were even fully awake, he was sipping on that hot, comforting brew, convinced it was the best way to jumpstart his day. But lately, something felt off. Instead of feeling energized, George noticed his hands trembling as he held his coffee mug. His heart would start racing, and an uneasy feeling crept over him, almost like anxiety, but he couldn't figure out why. His stomach felt queasy, and by mid-morning he was already drained, needing another cup just to stay alert. At first he blamed it on aging, but when he mentioned it to his doctor, the real culprit was revealed. His coffee habit was working against his body, not for it. So, what was the problem? Drinking coffee first thing in the morning on an empty stomach can spike your cortisol levels, the hormone responsible for managing stress. Your body naturally produces high levels of cortisol in the morning to wake you up, but adding caffeine on top of it can throw your system into overdrive, making you feel jittery, anxious, and even more tired later. On top of that, coffee is acidic, which can irritate your empty stomach and lead to digestive issues like acid reflux and bloating, something George had been struggling with for years without realizing why. So, what's the solution? Don't reach for coffee the moment you wake up. Instead, start your day with a glass of warm water to hydrate your body after a long night's sleep. If you still want your morning coffee, have a light breakfast first, like a banana, some toast, or even a handful of nuts. This simple change can stabilize your energy levels, reduce caffeine crashes, and keep your stomach happy. After making this small adjustment, George noticed a huge difference. No more jitters, no more mid-morning energy crashes, just a steady and calm start to his day. Mistake number 2: adding too much sugar. For Mildred, coffee wasn't just a morning drink. It was her little moment of joy. She loved it sweet and creamy, always adding 3 teaspoons of sugar to make it just right. Every morning she'd sit by her kitchen window, sipping her warm, sugary brew, feeling like it was the perfect way to start her day. But after a while, something changed. She started feeling tired all the time, even after her second cup. Her clothes felt tighter, and she couldn't understand why she was gaining weight despite eating the same meals. But the real wake-up call came at her doctor's appointment. Her blood sugar levels were creeping up, and her doctor warned her that if she wasn't careful, she could be heading toward diabetes. That's when it hit her. Her beloved coffee routine was doing more harm than good. The problem? Too much sugar in coffee can spike your blood sugar levels, leading to energy crashes, weight gain, and increased insulin resistance. For older adults, this is especially dangerous because it raises the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. The daily habit of adding sugar might seem harmless, but over time, it creates a cycle where the body craves more sugar, leading to constant fatigue and unhealthy weight gain, just like what happened to Mildred. So, what's the solution? Instead of loading coffee with sugar, try cutting back little by little. Your taste buds adjust over time, and you'll start enjoying the natural flavors of coffee. If you need a bit of sweetness, try natural alternatives like cinnamon, stevia, or a drop of honey. These options add flavor without the harmful blood sugar spikes. After making this switch, Mildred felt a difference within weeks. Her energy levels improved, she stopped craving sugar throughout the day, and even lost a few pounds. Her mornings were still sweet, but now in a way that kept her healthy and strong. Mistake number 3, drinking coffee late in the day. For Frank, a 72-year-old retired teacher, coffee wasn't just a morning ritual. It was a comforting habit, even in the evening. Every night after dinner, he'd sit in his favorite chair with a warm cup of coffee, reading his newspaper or watching the evening news. He thought it was harmless, just a way to relax before bed. But then, something started changing. At night, Frank found himself tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling instead of drifting into a deep sleep. And when he did finally doze off, he'd wake up multiple times, feeling restless and groggy in the morning. At first he blamed it on aging, thinking, maybe this is just what happens when you get older. But the truth was, his evening coffee habit was ruining his sleep without him even realizing it. The problem? Caffeine stays in your system for hours, and as you age, your body metabolizes it more slowly. Drinking coffee late in the day can interfere with melatonin production, the hormone that helps you fall asleep naturally. This can lead to insomnia, frequent waking during the night, and poor sleep quality, which, over time, increases fatigue, weakens the immune system, and even affects memory and focus. For older adults like Frank, good sleep is crucial, and caffeine was unknowingly working against him. So, what's the solution? Cut off caffeine after 2 p.m. to give your body enough time to process it before bedtime. If you still crave a warm drink in the evening, try herbal tea or decaf coffee instead. After making this small change, Frank noticed a huge difference. He fell asleep faster, stayed asleep longer, and woke up feeling truly rested for the first time in years. His secret wasn't a sleeping pill, it was simply timing his coffee intake better. Mistake number 4, drinking too much coffee. Esther, a lively 80-year-old with a sharp mind and a love for conversation, had one habit she was proud of, her ability to drink coffee all day long. Whether it was morning, afternoon, or even early evening, she always had a cup in hand. "Coffee keeps me going," she would say with a laugh. But then something unexpected started happening. One afternoon, while chatting with her friends, Esther felt her heart racing. It was as if it was beating too fast, almost like it was trying to keep up with her energy. She brushed it off at first, thinking it was just excitement, but soon the palpitations became more frequent. She started feeling lightheaded, and a wave of anxiety crept over her. Worried, she finally went to her doctor, and that's when she learned the shocking truth. Her beloved coffee habit was pushing her heart into overdrive. The problem? Too much coffee can lead to dehydration, high blood pressure, and heart palpitations. Caffeine is a stimulant, and while a moderate amount can be beneficial, excessive intake strains the heart, increases anxiety, and can even trigger dizziness or irregular heartbeats, especially in older adults whose bodies are more sensitive to caffeine. On top of that, coffee is a diuretic, meaning it makes you lose fluids, which can lead to dehydration and leave you feeling fatigued instead of energized. So, what's the solution? Limit coffee intake to 1-2 cups per day and drink plenty of water throughout the day. If you find yourself craving another cup, try switching to herbal tea, warm water with lemon, or even a decaf option to give your body a break. After making this change, Esther felt a huge difference. Her heart stopped racing, her energy felt more stable, and she no longer worried about sudden palpitations. She still enjoyed her coffee, but now in a way that kept her feeling strong and healthy. Mistake number 5. Ignoring coffee's temperature. Lillian, a 77-year-old woman with a busy morning routine, never had time to wait for her coffee to cool down. She would pour herself a steaming hot cup, take a quick sip, and get on with her day. To her, it was just part of the routine. A little heat never hurt anyone, right? But one morning, as she took a sip in a hurry, she felt a sharp, burning pain on her tongue and down her throat. She winced, but brushed it off. However, over the next few days, she noticed her throat feeling sore, irritated, and uncomfortable, making it hard to enjoy her meals. What Lillian didn't realize was that drinking coffee that's too hot can cause more than just temporary discomfort. Repeated exposure to scalding beverages can damage the sensitive lining of the throat and esophagus. Over time, this can lead to chronic irritation, inflammation, and even increase the risk of more serious health issues. As we age, our tissues become more fragile and take longer to heal, making it even more important to protect them from unnecessary burns. So, what's the simple fix? Wait a few minutes before drinking your coffee. The ideal temperature for drinking is around 130 to 160 degrees, with 140 degrees being the safest balance between warmth and comfort. If you're unsure, test it with a small sip before taking a big gulp. After learning this, Lillian made a simple change. She gave her coffee a little time to cool down, and not only did she avoid burns, but she also found that she enjoyed the flavors even more. Mistake number 6. Using low-quality coffee beans. Vera, a 70-year-old woman who had been drinking coffee her entire life, never thought twice about the kind of beans she used. As long as her cup was hot and strong, she was happy. She often bought whatever was cheapest and most convenient, not realizing that the quality of the coffee could make a difference. But over time, something changed. After her morning coffee, Vera started feeling bloated and uncomfortable. Some days, she experienced acid reflux, and her stomach felt heavy. She assumed it was just part of getting older, but then she noticed something strange. On the days she drank coffee at her daughter's house, she felt perfectly fine. What was different? It wasn't the milk or sugar. It was the coffee beans themselves. The problem? Low-quality coffee beans often contain additives, mold, and chemicals that irritate the digestive system. Many mass-produced coffees are over-processed, sprayed with pesticides, or made from lower-grade beans that have been stored improperly. These hidden contaminants can cause bloating, acid reflux, and even upset stomachs, especially in older adults who may have more sensitive digestion. So, what's the solution? Switch to freshly ground, organic, high-quality coffee beans. Look for brands that focus on purity and sustainable farming, and if possible, grind your beans at home for the freshest taste. After making this simple change, Vera noticed a dramatic improvement. Her bloating disappeared, her stomach felt lighter, and she could finally enjoy her coffee without discomfort. Sometimes it's not just how you drink your coffee, but what's actually in it that makes all the difference. Conclusion. So there you have it. 6 fatal mistakes many people make when drinking coffee, especially as they get older. Just like George, Mildred, Frank, Esther, Lillian, and Vera, small changes in your coffee habits can make a big difference in your health. Whether it's avoiding coffee first thing in the morning, cutting back on sugar, or choosing better quality beans, these tips can help you enjoy your coffee without harming your body. Now, I have a question for you. If you learned something new today, comment 9 below. If you already knew these mistakes, comment 0. I'd love to see how many of you are coffee lovers making smarter choices. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on staying healthy and strong as you age. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.